Okay, this is going to be the orientation video for Sociology 1301. My name is Robert Wood. I am your instructor. I don't really know the best way to do this, so I'm just going to do a way to do it. I'm just going to have to log on. Just go to southplainscollege.edu. I'm quite certain that you're familiar with this, but just on the off chance that you're not, I thought I should start at the very, very beginning. Once the college's website opens up, go up to log in and then log in at Blackboard. You'll have to enter your username and password that is provided to you by the school. Once you do that, your screen may look a little bit different. It certainly should have fewer courses over here than what I've got, but click on courses. That typically gets you to the current semester. Will hopefully be up at the top. You might have to minimize that. Like I'm going to minimize the fall 17 so that fall 18 is the first thing that I would see. This is my Introduction to Sociology online section, which is the one that usually needs the most introduction. So I will click on that one. Now, when it first opens up for you, it's going to look something like this, and there's a ton of content on here. I fully understand that. So that's why I'm trying to make the video to help you with that. First thing you're going to want to do is to read the syllabus. It is right there. You can just click on that. It'll open up the syllabus in another window. You might need to get a newer version of Adobe if you start having trouble with it, but generally it opens without too much effort. Read through here. This first 6 pages is really some legal nomenclature in order to make sure you understand empirically what is going on in the class. Once you get to this point right here, this is from information down is what will allow you to be successful in my class and what differentiates it from some other classes. You'll notice on here that academic integrity, you're required to do your own work. I don't know that that really needs to be stated, but now I've stated it. Classroom behavior, I want you to be respectful to each other, and you have to come in and work in the class. Attendance, while it's an online class, so obviously you're not physically attending, so attendance is measured by participation. Missing assignments is like missing class. Okay, there are 14 discussions that are worth 20 points apiece. That's 280 points. One thing that you should notice pretty quickly, there are also 4 tests and 4 projects. The tests, because the tests are open book, the tests are actually worth the least amount of cumulatively of all of the assignments in the class. There is one way to get extra credit. You can go to the wiki that is set up at the end of the class. A wiki is just a document that many people add on to. The most famous one, of course, is Wikipedia, but in this one it's a creative writing wiki that you just add on to what other people have done, and it's a creative writing exercise in order to use what we're learning in class. Okay, here's the textbook. You are expected to read. Obviously, reading is more important in this class. It is important in the face-to-face class. It's more important than this one because you don't have the advantage of lectures. Please do not try to take a shortcut and get out of reading. It is it'll show up in your writing, and it'll hurt you in your grade. I do provide handouts, which are basically the class notes that I would use from the lectures. Sometimes those can be helpful if they might present the material in a little bit different way. Discussions. We'll have a weekly discussion in here in this class. They will open on Thursday at 4 o'clock. You will have until the following Tuesday to post your initial response to whatever the discussion prompt was, and then you'll have 2 more days from Tuesday until Thursday to write your responses to other people. Now, you don't have to wait until Thursday to do your final responses, of course. If you're one of those folks who likes to get stuff knocked out, you can post your original thing on there on Friday. You can find 2 or 3 other students who have already done theirs, and you can respond to them, and you would be done. But you are required to get your original post on there no later than Tuesday so that other students do have an opportunity to read what you have written. There is an extra book required in my class. You'll have to figure out what sort of graphic novel you would like to read. A graphic novel is just an extended comic book, but it presents information in a little bit different way. It would use art as well as prose. There's a number of short videos in the class at different times. If you have problems with them, email me. But if you can be successful even if those are not working. There's a success plan and a calendar and things like that. The calendar is pretty important. People always wonder, well, like, how will I know when something is due? You check the calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the syllabus. So where's the calendar? Scroll down. There's the syllabus again. There's the copy of the textbook. Here's the calendar. If you want to know when something's due, let's say you're going to open this up for October. Okay. Let's come down here, and so you've downloaded the file now. So we're going to go ahead and open it. These are just Word documents that I've got online, and then I altered them to fit the parameters of this particular course. But each month will have its own calendar, and so you can see what's due exactly on October the 9th or October the 13th or whatever the case might be. Okay, so now that our October calendar is open up, you can see that exam 1 closes on October 2nd. It actually had opened at the end of September. You can tell the discussions open and close here on Thursday at 4 p.m. That's 4 in the afternoon. You'll notice exam 2 opens here on the 19th of October. So you've got the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, or the 23rd to take it. But once it closes at 4 o'clock, you have to have completed that exam by that particular time. Your first paper is due here on October the 5th at 4 o'clock. The graphic novel that you're going to get needs to be pre-approved. If you want to get the bonus points for it, if you get it pre-approved by October 3rd, that's your deadline. You have to have heard back from me by that date in order to get the 10 points. You cannot send me a request at 10 p.m. on October 3rd. Well, you can send it, but I won't get back to you until the 4th, so you won't get the 10 points. You would get 5 if it would be pre-approved, but you would have missed the 10. You have to have heard back from me by then. So really, you should be contacting me well before this deadline. Do not wait until the last time. But anyway, you can see exam 2 is open and exam 2 closes. Papers are due typically on Fridays. If you have specific questions about a specific assignment, of course, look at the calendar. If that still is unclear to you, then you can get back with me later. I'm going to go ahead and close this up now. Just some general directions for the class. The Americans with Disabilities statement. I've got their phone numbers on here for the Reese Center and for the Levelland Center. Depending on, you can use whichever one you want to. I mentioned the creative writing wiki example earlier. Here's just an example from a previous semester. Okay, so we've got the creative wiki. Hopefully this will open somewhat quickly on my computer. Like I said, this is just a creative writing exercise using the terms typically as we learn them. The best way to do it is once you've read chapter 2, if you want bonus points in the class, go in and make another entry using terms from chapter 2, and then the next week use terms from chapter 3. You'll notice starts off here with Eddie and his family live in a rural area in a small community. Eddie and his brothers loved it when they became old enough to go into town late at night. His sisters were not allowed to go, but they really did not care. Girl rabbits never went into town. This person is obviously using some of the terms or the themes that she had learned from the gender chapter. But one of the things I like about this particular writing exercise is it's different every semester, because this person, this semester, that I copied this from, somebody started writing about rabbits. So everything became this story about rabbits. In your semester, it could be very, very different. That's one of the things that makes this, like I said, more interesting. Your class, your tools will look different over here. You'll have a few less of them. But anyway, these are your paper assignments. I showed you where those were due at, but you can look on the calendar for here. But whenever you go to this is the description of your sports paper. This is just another description in a Word document. And this is where you would click on it to turn it in. Once you've got it written, click on sports paper, come over here. You can actually write your submission if you want to here. It's easier typically to just upload it, and that's fine. Do whichever one you want. Browse your computer. I will ask whenever you turn it in, please turn it in Microsoft Word. I cannot open many other programs, and you have to get it to me in a version that I can obviously read. Here's where your exams would be located in. The discussions. Now, if you click on the discussions, I believe you will only see what discussions are open. Right now, I mean, I can see all of them, and nobody's participated in any but the first, but a large number of you have participated in the first one, so that's a very good sign. If you click on My Grades, this will bring up your grades in the course. My grade book certainly looks different than yours. Yours only has yours in it. If you need any more help, please call me or email me, but hopefully this will answer some basic questions for just sort of how to move around in the course. For the discussions, I guess I could have shown this to you. What you'll want to do is read the prompt, figure out kind of what you want to say, then come over here and click on this particular, on the title. You will create a thread. I want your created thread to be your name. Okay, I want that to be the title of your thread. And the reason being, like, so the title of mine would be Robert Wood. And then I am going to come along and answer the question or the prompt. The reason that I want your title to be your name, when somebody responds to you, I want to know who they're responding to, because quite often whenever I go through the grade, I may grade these out of order of whenever they were originally written. And so it's much easier for me to, if somebody says, I really agree with that point and it sounds like an interesting point, I would know that Amanda Perez or whoever is listed in that they're replying to, I'll just see the title, and that way I know who they're responding to. Once again, if you need any help, please let me know, but hopefully this little orientation video will